my thought is, having listened to a few people and also I've been thinking about it in my mind, is first and foremost, I want to be clear, and I'm not clear when we talk about 1,000 crore liters savings. What is that we are talking about? What are we measuring? So is it only demand reduction, or are we also talking about recycling water so that withdrawal goes down? So that's something that is in my mind. Maybe it's a combination of both, because only demand reduction also is possible, but there are other ways of saving which may be lower hanging fruits. And should we also look at that? That is the supply side. And are we looking at groundwater withdrawal, or which means that if we are improving our water bodies and we are able to take water from there, then that's a plus. So something like, you can say net zero. For example, I've seen in many of the forums, people are talking about rainwater harvesting. So there, it's not really reduction of water usage. We're really talking about harvesting and recharging. So then could we look at it as a net zero or net positive focus, which means we could take communities and say, hey, we are withdrawing, but we're also recharging. So net is what we're looking at rather than simple reduction of numbers. So, I mean, these are thoughts that are coming on my mind, saying what is it that we want to monitor and measure, and how do we mobilize people? Because different people can contribute in different ways. Some may be fortunate enough to be able to harvest rainwater, but many may have some other ideas, recycling grey water, for example. So they will feel a little left out if we are only talking about a few of those things. So then the other thought that struck me is, what is the motivation and incentive that we are expecting for people? Is it cost saving only, or is it sustainability of our planet? More and more, I'm thinking people are interested in sustainability of the planet. Cost saving is a small, satisfaction compared to this. So how do we then enhance the scope of what we're doing way beyond saying, hey, meter reading and, it's a saving for you? Because in Chennai, that's the problem. We don't have any saving because it's not metered. And then if I go on that track, I find that most of Chennai doesn't fall into this bracket. But then that's limiting. But how do I then bring people onto a sustainability platform, and what is it for them as individuals, as citizens? So that's a thought. And going little beyond, I was thinking that if there are so many, because Bangalore is now 1 year into it, and it's time to probably shift gears and look at, how do we enhance participation and results. So two things came to my mind. One is, if we create focus groups, for example, one group leads on rainwater harvesting, another group looks at demand reduction with aerators and so on. Another group looks at wastewater recycling. So then we could create these smaller groups, and each group maybe creates their own leader or a organization around it, and they sort of, because smaller groups will become more effective than one large group debating every fortnight and people not getting a chance, and they really don't know, are they wasting other people's time by just saying something? So if there is some work they have done at small groups, it could be geographical groups also. It need not be, something on technology. And the last part was, in terms of communication and motivation, I'm not sure that WhatsApp is the right forum, right platform, because it is good for instant communication, but it is not structured enough for us to keep track of what's going on. And there are right youngsters who can develop an app quickly and say, look, this is how we track what's happening in this WOW Action Forum. And people can, it's like Facebook or some other app where you can really keep track of, you can go back and forth, and you can create channels. You can have people posting on different channels. So I'm sure there is a room for us to bring in technology, information technology, to make people more aware and, more participatory.